Okay, so I just want to give you a quick sort of tutorial video about how to access the graphing calculator that you will use on your ISTEP 10, and then give you a quick few instructions about how to use it. So the calculator that they give you on the ISTEP 10 is a graphing calculator, okay, and you'll only have access to it on questions that they want you to have access to it. You cannot have your own handheld calculator, so you have to get used to using this calculator. Okay. Um, so first of all, if you just click the link that is set up on all of the computers, because this website, it's also through the Canvas page. Okay. Once you're here, you're going to click on your iStep 10 grade 10 online experience. Right here on the top is the fourth one down. Okay, so once you click that, it's going to start to do like a sign in and load. It takes care of all that by itself. You don't need a username or password. You'll click start on these two separate pages. Okay, and then it's going to take you into like a sort of sample test. So at some point with your teacher, you should be going through this. But if you look up here at the top of your screen, you'll see the different tools that are available to you. So on this particular question, you would not have access to the graphing calculator. Okay, but over here, if you click this arrow to the right and you click next, okay, up here at the top, the tools sort of change, and now you have this calculator button in the middle. Okay, so when you click that, your graphing calculator is going to pop up. You can scroll it on your screen, place it wherever you want to place it. Okay, so you can move it to the right or left so it's not sitting on top of a problem. Since we're not actually worried about the problems on the screen right now, once you have the graphing calculator open, you can sort of just leave it wherever. So I'm just going to show you how to do some similar things that you do on probably your scientific calculator. I'm just going to show you how you can do the same sort of things on the graphing calculator. A lot of it's the same, but some of it is a little bit different. So first thing, you can enter fractions into a graphing calculator. This is what's probably the biggest difference from the scientific calculator. So if you want to enter a fraction that's improper, so something like maybe 7 halves, okay, you're just going to use your division button to enter that fraction. And your division button actually shows up like a fraction in a graphing calculator. Okay, so it'll actually read as 7 halves. Okay, the difference is that if you hit enter equals, okay, you don't get a decision about what format to go from there. We don't have those ABC buttons. Okay, so if you want to change this 3.5 into a fraction, okay, those fraction and decimal buttons are underneath this math button here on the left-hand side. Okay, so if you click this button, you'll see these first two here, right? We have an arrow going to a fraction and an arrow going to a decimal. So you can either choose to move the arrows up and down to select the one you want, or you can just click the number that it is down here. Okay, but once you have it highlighted, you'll hit enter, and that's not going to do anything but just pull that same thing up here on your screen. To actually get it to turn it into a fraction, you're going to have to hit enter again. Okay, and so we'll get 7/2. If you want to turn it then back into a decimal, we'll hit math, and then this time we'll just select the second one. So we'll select 2, and it will change it back to a decimal. We don't have the same ability to turn this from mixed to improper and back and forth, but I'll show you how you can deal with that. Okay, so if you have a mixed number, like maybe 3 1/4, okay, this one is way different to enter. Okay, there's actually a couple different options, but I think this is sort of the easiest. So we'll hit 3, and we're going to add to it that remaining, oops, I'm going to delete back. Okay, so we're going to add to it the remaining 1/4. So that 1 and then the division sign and then 4. Okay, so you'll notice I'm having trouble sort of hitting things. Clicking this calculator on the computer is very different than just pressing buttons. So sort of getting used to that is kind of important as well, or you'll be really frustrated with the calculator. Okay, so if we have this 3 plus 1/4 and we hit enter, okay, it automatically goes to the decimal first. That's the only choice we get. Okay, but we can do math, and then we could change it into a fraction and hit. Okay, and so there is your improper fraction. We unfortunately can't go really in reverse. You'd have to divide that out, but that at least allows you to do things. So if you want to add, I don't know, 7 halves plus 2 thirds, right? I'm just doing 7 divided by 2 plus 2 divided by 3, right? I can get out the decimal answer and I can then turn that into a fraction. Okay. Your other keys are very similar. So over here, right, we have our x squared button, and then our square root button is the light blue. So if we want to do something like 7 squared, right, I'm just clicking that x squared and it will square it for us. If I want to take the square root of second, just like normal, right, or I'm doing second, square root, 9, okay, and it gives me that. Let's say you're clicking around and you just accidentally click something weird and you're like, oh my gosh, I have no idea where I am. Unfortunately, no one can tell you how to use the calculator, what to do with the calculator on the test. Okay, so if you get to a weird screen and you're like, I just don't know where I am, you can always click second and then mode, and it sort of takes you back to your normal screen. Okay, you are able to scroll through your previous data, just like you could on the scientific calculators by pressing your arrows up and down. So we have that as an option available to us as well. If things start coming out weird, so for some reason you've hit something and you just don't know, right? You get into this weird place, you don't know what to do, you're stuck in some different mode and you don't know what to do with it. Okay? You can also always reset your graphing calculator. Okay, so to reset your graphing calculator, you'll hit second. Let's clear this out. You'll hit second and then you'll hit the addition sign. Okay, and this will pop up and you want to reset. So we're going to select 7. Here's how you can do it by numbers if we just press 7. Okay, we want to reset all of our RAM. So we're going to hit 1. And then we want to reset it. So we are going to pick 2. And that should clear anything bizarre out of your calculator. So if something just isn't right and you don't know what it is, that's another option. You could just reset your calculator. Okay, so please take advantage of this online calculator as much as you possibly can. The more you use it, the more you're used to using it, the less frustrating it will be when you take your ISTEP 10.